My life is in your hands. My life is in your hands. You took control when I was young, when I was not able. My life is in your hands. My life is in your hands. You took control when I was young, when I was not able.
Hi, welcome to Inspired Blessings with Jimmy Prince. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And today my guest is founder and president Timothy Jaccard, and in which he has actually founded AMT, and it's for Children of Hope, and it's really a baby safe haven foundation. So, Tim, I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I know that this is our second interview because you know what you're doing is so important, and people should be reminded what you're doing. So, Tim, if you could kind of share like how or what situations when you came across that made you really look into doing what you're doing today.
We started off with burying babies that were murdered. And in a 10-month period, I had 16 babies locally that was found in dumpsters, garbage cans, and abandoned in the hospitals and died. And I had the public administrator give me custody of the children. And then that's when we buried them. But after the babies locally that was found in dumpsters, garbage cans, and abandoned in the hospitals and died. And I had the public administrator give me custody of the children. And then that's when we buried them. But after we saw that we were having more babies being found a victim to infanticide, 4 major calls. As I was working, I responded to a call, and God put me in front of the courthouse on Main Street in Hempstead when I found a baby not breathing was the call. And I ran into the bathroom and I found a little baby girl, a little baby boy drowned in the toilet bowl with the placenta laying on top of the baby. I tried to save the baby's life. And I could not do it. Then right after that, 2 weeks later, I responded to a call, baby not breathing in Albertson. And that particular call, I was guided again by God. And I went to pick the baby up. It's a little baby girl. Across the street from the church where the baby was found is a church called St. Aidan's. And my wife's name is Aiden. 2 weeks to the day, responded to another call in Hempstead, back to Hempstead. And I found a little baby boy buried in the backyard that was unearthed by a dog. And there was a little tiny cross on top of that. And the last one that I had was in Lawrence, Cedarhurst. And I responded to that call. And as I approached in the recycling bin, I find a little baby boy wrapped up in a plastic bag in the bin. And as I bent down and picked the baby up, at noon this happened, the church bells started to chime and for noontime. And that's what prompted me to go to a place called the library where they used to have books on shelves, and today have that. And I was able to sit down and write the law, the Infant Abandonment Protection Act, and that's how it goes. And that's how it started.
Wow. Well,
and it took 10 years to go across the entire United States for me to get all 50 states registered into the Safe Haven program.
Yeah. So you really know that this was your God-given mandate over your life.
Yes.
Right. Well, we are so grateful. You know, they are so grateful. Everyone, a lot of people. Oh my goodness. Think about. I mean, I hate to say it, but when it's your time and you're in heaven, and all the people that come to welcome you are going to be, you know what I'm saying? So many people, faces that you've never seen. And, you know, so God will be very pleased, or is very pleased with what you're doing. So thank you. Right now, the AMT actually stands for what?
That's Ambulance Medical Technicians. That was our title over 42 years ago.
Okay, so that's
Now they do not refer to us because we're medics, and they refer to us as police medics now. They even changed our uniforms. I used to wear a green uniform as a medic, and the commissioner wanted everyone in blue.
mm,
I wanted to change it to where we established the baby, instead of being the Infant Burial Foundation, it
right.
became the Children of Hope Safe Haven Foundation.
Now, that's how long were you actually working? And you're still now. You
I'm
kind of
still
retired,
working.
but yet,
Yeah.
how many years?
The commissioner did not want me to go.
Hmm.
So I retired and came back as a consultant.
Right, right. Well, you know what? Because your
You know,
job was important, and it was, and you had the heart for it as well.
yeah,
And
22 years. And in
yeah,
that 22 years, we have rescued 5,128 babies.
how what a, you know, what a blessing! What a blessing you have been, and you will continue to be as well. Because
What's
those generations of lives that were saved,
Yeah.
the generations will go on.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I
And
mean,
it's interesting now. I have the infants, the babies that I've rescued
mhm,
are now getting older.
yeah,
And Tom McCann and Donna McCann has Caitlin, and
right,
Caitlin now is 22 years old,
right,
and she assists us also coming to our events, and
right.
has been interviewed many times.
You know, I think to myself is that I myself was found 2 days old in a public bathroom train station in South Korea.
Yeah.
And out of my life now has basically going to be six beings. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
My two children and my grandchildren. So that's why the generations will applaud you for your faithful service in saving their parents. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going
Their
to show you.
grandparents.
I'm going to move this for a second and show you the wall. If you can see
Sure.
that,
Right. Right.
those are
Wow.
all the babies that I've delivered.
Right, right. But you know, I'm sure that wall doesn't have over 5,000 that you have actually saved. What I'm going to do is I did have you send me pictures, okay?
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share the screen so we can be able to do that, okay? And you can tell me a little bit more about that. So let's see. So tell me a little bit about that picture.
We started what was known as the ambulance identification program, and the Tom is holding up one of the stickers that are on every single ambulance,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a couple of thousand ambulances from Buffalo all the way down to
Right,
Long Island here, and it acknowledges that ambulance is part of the Safe Haven program. And
right,
can walk up to that ambulance, will not be questioned. Everybody that has those stickers, all the crews, including the volunteer fire departments, have all been part of the training program to educate them on the law itself.
right.
A woman has 30 days, from birth to 30 days, to relinquish her baby safely without prosecution.
Right. Yeah, because that's why they would kind of leave a baby in a dumpster or a bathroom, I
Yep.
guess you could say, like myself. But so how many? I know that it's in New York, but now it's also gone across the country.
Yes, it's in all 50 states,
Hmm.
Dominican Republic, the Virgin Islands, and I've assisted Canada in Ottawa, and they all are understanding the law, even though they do not have the law.
Hmm.
But it's important because the PSAs that we send out, public service announcements,
Right.
are seen in Canada, and people will call that number, and they inform the counselors that are answering the phone. It's a 24/7 operation,
Hmm.
and it's open 24 hours a day.
Right.
That's where we're able to do that. Now, the picture you have up right now is one of our trailers. I have 9 trailers
Wow.
that we have, and they're all labeled just like that. And we move them around
Mm-hmm.
and areas where we know. So if we're having a big event somewhere, we'll
Right.
make sure that that trailer is there
Sure.
to be seen.
What a blessing.
That trailer there saved 7 babies. It was located. It is located at the entrance and exit to
Mm,
Jones Beach
really?
area, and mainly during the summertime, we have it there for that purpose. So
Yeah, you can't miss it.
you
Yeah,
can't miss
that's a great sign.
it. Mhm.
Go to another picture as well. So what's this picture?
Now, this here is a group of high school students that made a car wash
Mm-hmm.
on 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and they washed all the cars, and all the proceeds came to the Children of Hope Foundation.
Right. So as I'm looking for the next picture, tell us more about your fundraisers then.
The fundraisers, we do one a month,
Mm-hmm.
and we have the golf outing. We had our walkathon in March,
Mm-hmm.
and we also had Harmony for Hope. That's the big one at Mulcahy's in
Right.
Walmart.
Right. And like I was mentioning to you yesterday, is that on my website at jeanmarieprince.com is that I'm doing also an online fundraiser with your organization that if anybody comes to the website, they can be able to purchase whether the books are over 50 Christian greeting cards or music, and a portion would go to your organization. And
Right.
so basically, very simple. They just go to, before checkout, they would just put in your code and it's just AMT. So then I would know who purchased it, what organization would get a percentage. So love to get that more out there so that people would know. So here's another picture.
Yes.
Very beautiful, right? And so
Yeah.
this was a baby that was saved,
Yes.
adopted, or
Yep. Been adopted. That picture was taken, I would say, probably 10, 12 years ago.
wow, right? And now that baby is born. Yep, baby's older and having fun and learning and doing all the things that a child should be doing. And now is that the adopted mother?
Yes.
Okay, great.
As you know, I can't reveal names.
Yeah, I know, of course. No, I'm not expecting to, but great picture. Baby, when he's
That was taken the same day that he was born.
what would you say approximately the age?
We estimated it because of the umbilical cord,
Sure.
and we try to do the closest that we can. And I witnessed this birth. I was there assisting the mother give birth to this baby.
Right, right. And where was this mother that you actually found her?
Found us?
No. Where was this mother that you actually found her? Were you called in, or
No, she called the crisis hotline.
Okay.
She found us on the internet, and
Sure.
I was explaining to you yesterday. We had a young woman that called, and I drove 8 hours upstate New York. I'll say near Buffalo.
Right.
I'm not going to give the name of the town.
That's a long time. A trip, 8 hours, I think.
8 hours, and got there and delivered the baby in the back bedroom.
Wow.
And brought the baby, and this was in January, brought the baby to the local hospital.
Right.
And I couldn't get in the emergency room. It was January, and the COVID virus was so heavily spread that people were waiting in their cars to be seen in the emergency room. So I brought the baby to the lobby, and I couldn't get in the lobby. The lobby was emptied out, and they had 15 beds in the lobby.
Right.
And, so the security guard had the doctor come down, examine the baby in the back of my car, in my Ford Explorer. And then they took the baby up to isolation and placed the baby in the isolation unit.
Right. Wow.
The crisis center received a call on April 15th, and she says, "I don't know if you remember me, but you picked me up in Pennsylvania,
Right.
you brought me to your safe house on Long Island, and you delivered my daughter in the back bedroom of the safe house."
Oh, wow.
And she says, "I'm in trouble and I need your help again." Turned out, I said, "Are you still in?"
You're probably like,
So I said, "I'll help you again." There's no problem with that.
Right.
I said, but you're in Pennsylvania and it's 3.5 hours for me to get there.
Right.
So we made arrangements for her to get to Clifton, New Jersey, to my sister-in-law's house. And I wound up delivering her second daughter in underneath the steering wheel in the front seat of the
Oh
car,
my goodness.
and handed
Wow.
the baby to my wife. And my wife brought the baby into the house and took care of the baby while I finished taking care of the birth mother.
Right. Wow, what a blessing you are again. And this is a sad picture to see a baby coffin.
Yes, this was, I believe, was Dennis, if I'm correct. And he had a very positive, not a positive, but a rewarding ceremony for him. All the babies are baptized. And all the babies are, before I baptize them, they're dressed in a tuxedo or a communion gown that is made out of wedding dresses that people donate to us.
Right, you showed me. Yeah, amazing.
And so that's this way they have something comfortable. And this is my old uniform. It used to be green.
Right.
They went blue all the way.
Blue. Okay.
So, and this young baby is from Pennsylvania. That's where her mother, the adoptive couples, lived, and they came to my walkathon 2 years ago and brought the baby with them. And so we had a very good turnout with that. And
those are joyful moments.
That was really joyful to see the smile on this little kid's face.
I had stopped by your place and actually got to see what the place looks like and how you are surrounded from where actually you live, you and your wife.
Yes.
And it was actually very nice. Really, I was very impressed. And then I didn't realize the fact that, like when you showed me, that you have homes for, for the mothers if they need a place to stay. And it's just amazing how beautiful it is, and also the donations that you were given from other places. Now, I want to ask you a question because I was mentioning to somebody about that you have this home for the mother. So there's some questions that she had, and I figured I would ask you, and then this way she'll be able to watch this and get the answer. So she wanted to say, so the length of stay that you would have for a mother that would stay at these homes would be, what would you say?
Well, under state law, I can receive the mother for 60 days, 2 months before the birth, and then 1 month after the birth of the child. The longest I've ever had any mother stay was 1 year.
Right, you were saying.
And I also network with Extendicare in Bethpage, and they have units that have refrigerators and a kitchen, bathroom, and a big room.
Right.
And we put them up there if the safe house is full.
So how many safe houses do you have?
Well, I have one safe house here, but I network with Pat Shea from Mama's House, and then also the Life Center. I can get up to 12 situations.
Really?
With the extended cares that we have here.
Right, so you can help like 12 moms and then a little bit more additional. Is this also across the country or just in New York?
There are several across. It's not just across the country. I've heard when I said Pennsylvania, I drove to Pennsylvania and brought that birth mother back here. And so I bring them over the borders if necessary to get them here.
Right. And is it government funded?
No, there's no government funds at all. And
so it's all through donations.
The reason why is the health insurance aspects of that. If they're giving me money, I have to provide information regarding abortions.
Right.
And that I will not do. So I don't get the funds. So I depend strongly on people making donations here.
Right.
And I would never criticize a woman having to make a decision like that, but I try my best to give them all the other options that are out there, and that's something that's very important to do, and they get that education.
Well, it's very important, I think, to be apart from the government, because the government would do things, that would be not good for the mothers and not good
Right,
for the babies.
right.
And I guess with the season that we're living in, I would hate to say that they would force you, if you were getting money from them, to force them to take the shot for the baby and mothers, which is very dangerous. But
Yeah.
anyway, and what are the requirements for entering the home?
You're pregnant.
Okay, that's as simple as that. Okay, and
That's
that,
pretty simple.
and then you have no one to help you. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's true. And are there any age limits?
Which
Age limits
age limit? No.
of the mother.
The youngest birth mother I ever had was 12 years old.
Wow, wow. Hmm. And are there programs involved, or is it considered a shelter?
It's not a shelter. It's a safe house for women till we can get another plan for them. And our
Right.
plans are, one, we try our best to keep the baby within the nucleus of its own family.
Yeah.
A grandmother, an aunt, an uncle, a brother or sister.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not an option for the birth mother, then the second option is that we give them the lists of all the adoption agencies that are out there, and we
Right.
network with the adoption agencies.
Right.
The third is the
Mm-hmm.
relinquishment under the law, the way I wrote it. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wrote the law in 1999,
Right.
and in 1999, we had so many deaths that we needed to do something. So then I wrote the law that allows them to relinquish that child
Right.
up to 30 days.
And I'm holding this book that you have, the New York State AMT Children Hope Baby Safe Haven Program. So that's how they would learn about what they're supposed to do. Is
Yeah,
that
well, those are training manuals for
okay?
the doctors, the nurses, the police personnel,
Mm-hmm.
and I do in service at the police academy
Right.
on the safe haven law,
Mm-hmm.
and also we go out to the high schools.
Right.
Before the pandemic, we would average about 7,000. The most I've ever had was 12,000 students,
Mm-hmm.
all the different high schools.
Right.
I teach
And
them about
Mhm.
babies, not me, not yet,
Sure.
and then also date rapes and acquaintance rapes, how to prevent them, and that's important stuff.
Very important, because we are, sometimes, especially when you're kids, you're so naive. And so you have on the back of this book, it's the helpline number is 1-877-796-HOPE, which 4673.
Yes,
So if anybody does need your help, that's the number that they would call.
yes.
All right. So I hope people see that. And also, are there daycare after babies are born?
When you say daycare, the
Mhm.
babies under New York state law, after being medically cleared, has to go to Child Protective Services, and they place that baby with a couple will foster that baby until we finish up in the court proceedings the termination of the mother and the father's rights.
Okay.
Now, the father's rights, New York State, it's called a putative father's registry. And if he registers, he will have a say
Mhm.
into where the child goes, and
Right.
also have the ability to raise that child if he wants to do that. And it's called putative father's registry. But if he doesn't register within 30 days, New York State terminates the father's rights on terms of abandonment.
Right.
And then the mother's rights, we go through the court proceedings with that. That takes a little longer for us to terminate the mother's rights, because there has to be what is known as a diligent search. The judge will order a diligent search. That means 90 days we have to search for the mother. Of
Right.
course, the way we search for the mother is we look in a newspaper, and nobody put anything in the newspaper. That's it. But I will not reveal anybody's name. All the birth mothers that come in are named Jane Doe Hope.
Right.
And this year we're up to Jane Doe Hope 8-22. That's how we identify the
Right.
mothers, just for our purposes.
I know that your website's also at the bottom too. Is it AMT Children of Hope. Let me see. Where is it going?
Children of Hope.
Yeah, childrenofhope.com, so they can go there as well.
Yes.
And are they equipped to help? And do they take pregnant women dealing with alcohol issues or mental health issues?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Well, you have to be careful with what's going on in the woman who's terrified and is in crisis.
Right.
What happens is you've got postpartum depression. Most of the time, it's postpartum depression, and then you also have postpartum psychosis. That's the most dangerous. And if that happens, they have to be medicated and be hospitalized because they can be in a serious danger for the baby and the mother both.
Right. Well, believe it or not, we're almost running out of time here, so I want to kind of end it on this. I feel that God blessed me to write a Christian greeting card, and one is called "Blessed Presence." And throughout this interview, I've been mentioning how you've been such a blessed presence to others. So, on behalf of all the babies that were saved, and on behalf of the mothers, that had to give up their child for whatever reasons, and also the future generations that are born out of these babies that were saved, I'd like to read this card to you. It's called Blessed Presence. Blessed Presence. There are people put in your path you never thought you would ever get to know. Only through different circumstances do you finally meet. Then you find out they're a blessing to you. You can see how special their presence has been in your life. It all didn't happen by chance, but through the plan of God. Only God knew the purpose of your crossing their paths. He knew that, I need a blessing at this time. God just amazes me the way his spirit works in my life. He always knows what is best for me like a father would. So my Father in heaven sent you to help me. He knew that you would touch my soul. Your presence is so wonderful. Your ways are so caring. Your thoughtfulness will be remembered in my heart forever. And continue your loving kindness to those who know you, and your righteousness to the upright in heart. Psalm 36:10. So on behalf of all the babies that were saved and their future generations, they thank you. They know that you are a blessed presence, and that without you having that put into you by God to save their lives, they wouldn't be here today. So thank you on behalf of all of them, Tim. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And keep inspired blessings within arm's reach to help give you comfort when others are at a loss for words. Thank you, and God bless. To accept and receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, please say this prayer. I know that I am a sinner who needs forgiveness. Jesus, please forgive me for all my sins and purify me. I know that you died and rose again to pay for my sins. I need you to be my Lord and Savior for the rest of my life. Thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen. For more information about Jean Marie Prince and Inspired Blessings, please go to jeanmarieprince.com. That's JeanMarieprince.com. Thank you so much, and God bless.
My life is in your hands. My life is in your hands. You took control when I was young, when I was not able. I had no mother to love me or a father to give me a hug. I was left all alone in this strange darkness. Nobody tried to claim me or said that they knew me. But Lord, you were always there, watching over me, making sure that I was fed. You kept me from the cold. Your hands picked me up and brought me to a loving home. Your grace was poured